Hello and welcome to 2 Minute Trainer. My name is Paul, and in this segment, we're going to be talking about collaboration. What is collaboration? By definition, collaboration is people working together to accomplish a common goal. And so that is the definition of collaboration. Now, those of you who have established these collaborative laboratories, so to speak, understand that when you bring people in from different parts of the world, even within different parts of the country, you'll always know that there's going to be this period in which they're just getting to know each other. There's no real collaboration happening. And so it's important to establish an environment in which you can have the teams become successful because you've established these ground rules as far as establishing the environment for collaboration. So let's get right to it. Here are the 5 stumbling blocks, and I'll talk about the 5 stumbling blocks to great collaboration within the teams. And then we're going to talk about the solutions very briefly. So number one stumbling block for collaboration is undefined goals, objectives, and deliverables. Okay, so when you bring people in together, they need to have an expectation of what they need to establish and what is required of them products wise at the end of the session. Okay, first off, let's talk about the duration of the session. It can be 3 days, it can be 2 weeks. I personally like 2 weeks. 2 weeks get established. That first week is nothing but getting to know you, understanding you, having trust, establishing a level of leadership, who's the predominant person within these small teams, and then they start collaborating that following week. Okay, so the first week is typically getting to know you. The other part is really working on deliverables. And so the next stumbling block is unclear structure. Okay, unclear team structure. Okay, so somewhere along the way, they've got to establish some leader, somebody who is a note taker, somebody who is a go-getter, a researcher, all these different tasks and roles and responsibilities, right? You've got to clearly define those, because if you don't, there's going to be somebody in the back that's not going to want to do anything because they don't know why they're there, okay, why they were chosen. And so if you define the goal for them and define a role for them, then they're going to start producing stuff. So you don't want to waste money and you don't want to waste time. You've got to clearly set up a structure for team structure. Number 3 stumbling block is the number of people. Okay, at some point there's too little and then there's too many. Okay, when you have 3 people, that's not enough for deliverables, objectives, goals, and all that other stuff, right? 5 is better, but still very, very narrow, too much work, be honest with you. What you want is 7, and anything above 8 is too many. Okay, the reason why 8 is too many is because they won't be able to make a decision. Constantly battling each other back and forth. There's an even number, and the vote will go one way or another, especially if it goes split down the middle. Nothing will get done. Okay, they'll be more worried about, and you have people that start to back off from the front runners, right? When there are people that dynamic wise, when there are A personalities, the B, C's, and D people are going to be stepping back. Okay, you don't want that. In a collaborative session, you want everybody. You want all types and unconstrained when it comes to providing input. And you have to create that environment for those teams for it to happen, right? And so the number of people is going to be very important. Number 4 stumbling block is unclear roles and responsibilities for the members. Okay, not having those note takers, not having those researchers, not having those thought provokers, not having a facilitator, not having a leader, all that is not going to be good. They're going to be floundering around the first couple days trying to figure out what their roles and responsibilities are for themselves. The last thing you want is for somebody to traveling across the world to come into wherever your collaborative laboratory is and they ask, what am I doing here? On the second day. That is the worst thing. You need to have set up the roles and responsibilities for each individual team member. And you can assign that to the leader, right? For them to assign the person or people roles and responsibilities. Okay. The other last stumbling block is number 5, and it's motivation. Motivation is so important, especially when you've got long days together. You have people in this group that kind of don't like each other really that much. And so you have to have a lot of icebreakers, a lot of things like puzzles, and that's why they have ping pong tables and big corporations. So they have the game rooms and nap shells or whatever they call them. That's why they have these things, is so that they can take a break from each other and have a moment to come back and be more creative. It's always important to have something like an icebreaker, a social event, something that the teams can do individually to get to know each other. They can play these really funny games or card games, whatever it may be, to kind of break the ice in order for them to establish and get to know each other very well. And so motivation is very important. Anyway, I hope these were helpful for you, understanding the 5 stumbling blocks, but also how to solve those 5 stumbling blocks to promote great collaboration for your organization. So if you're establishing a collaborative laboratory, wherever that may be, whatever your budget is, make sure you utilize every penny in order to get these end results, right? This is what's important. You spend all the money and all the time to bring people together in order to have goals, objectives, and deliverables at the end. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you had a great time. Happy Veterans Day to all those veterans. And thank you so much for your service. And we'll take care. God bless.